Waiting for players. Reviewees, okay. Try to, to make use of a code name or your first name if you want. And have a print screen and send that to me privately in the messenger, so I could appreciate that you really tap the meter, the face, the menti face.
Yes, guys. Know that this is competition. This is just a game, and also to know yourself.
Yes. Thank you, Mom G, for the encouragement.
You don't have to write your name. May kung minsan may sinasuggest
code name.
Meter. Oo. Sige, go.
www.menti.com and code 71062847.
Nakalagay dyan sa screen, no? Kopyahin nyo na lang. I will not join. Baka kulilat na naman ako. I'll give it the chance. I'll give the chance to all the reviewees. Sana pwede makasali yung nasa Facebook.
Yes, they could, Ma'am G.
So yung nasa Facebook, pwede pa rin sumali. Basta maka-open lang sila ng menti.com. Okay, I'm encouraging everyone.
Okay, we have already 4 participants. Okay, let's start. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's start the countdown. Answer fast to get more points. Go. Okay, you really learned from the previous presentation or discussion. Very good, reviewees. You got it correctly. Let's proceed on the next item. But the fastest one is Miss Jem. Congrats. For the first item, let's have the next item. Sorry. I didn't try to make the countdown. Okay, you have different answers, but okay, we will discuss later how did the answer is 15% for this problem. Proceed, but the leaderboard says that the fastest to answer that was Miss Jem. Okay, Jem, the code name is Jem, but I don't know if this is really Miss Jem's. Okay, let's proceed on the next item. Question number 3. Okay. Our leaderboard says leading now is Miss Jens, next is Mikay. Next question. Okay. Our leaderboard says the fastest was Miss Jem, and then still in the second place is Mikay, the third is Papi. Do we have the last question? Okay, the last question. Could you still overtake me, Jem? Time is up. And to get correctly on this problem, let's see the leaderboard. Jem and Mikay got it correctly. And in the overall, still Jem is our first place on this Minty meter quiz. Miss Jem, you can make a screenshot and PM me, please. Thank you. And others, please try to message me privately about your assessment result out of 5. What is your score? Thank you. So let's discuss now the how could we answer those problems or numerical reasoning sample test items. Okay, let me share my screen to you. Okay, let's discussion of the 5 numerical reasoning test items. First was you are to change 3/25 or Yes, 3/25 into a percentage. So again, you can have the strategy that you are to divide the 3 by 25, or the one that I presented to you, 3/25 will be
12%, ma'am.
You can have the same, you could retain the structure or the form, which is 3/25, convert that into over 100. What is the number in the numerator? And that is what we are looking for. We multiplied by
4.
4. We simply multiply by 4. That is the same number to be multiplied in the numerator to get the number 12. And 12/100 is the same as 12%. Okay? Could you appreciate this technique? Instead of dividing by 3 by 25. Okay, I presented to you this technique. I hope you could make use of this. Let's proceed on the next. Next item. Which of the following has the smallest value? How could we determine the smallest here? You could simplify this 10/14 as 10/40 as 1/4, di ba? You could divide by 10 by greatest common factor as 10. In the numerator and the denominator, that will become 1/4. Or in decimal, that is just 0.25 or 25 hundredths to read it correctly. Or in percentage, that is 25%. 25% versus 15%. What is smaller? So smaller is 15. But let's try to compare 15% to other choices. How about 1/5? 1/5 is 1/5, MJ? Do you want to answer? 1/5 in percentage? That is
2%.
2 or 20? 20%. You are to multiply it by 20 sa 5 to make it 100. So multiply 20 sa 1, then that is 20. So 20%. But comparing, or you could also switch to your way of dividing it, the 1 divided by 5. So 2/10, but you are to multiply it by 100%, is still will be 20%. Comparing 15% and 20, still 15% is smaller. How about this one? In percentage, it is 25%. So still 15% is smaller. How about 2/8? 2/8 is, you could make this into lowest term as 1/4 and 1/4. We already have 1/4. We already have 1/4 in the first option. That is equivalent to what?
25%.
Then it's still bigger or larger than 15%. So the smallest value among the choices is 15%. Okay, make those, you can make use of or convert all of the option to similar na form, just like in percent or in fraction or in decimal, but they still have equivalent form into fraction, decimal, and percent. So you could compare which option is smaller than the other. Proceed. Increase 400 by 40% of its value. Just convert first 40% into decimal. What's the decimal equivalent of 40%? Someone to unmute. So that
4.4.
0.4 or 4. Yes, Ma'am Jem, thank you. 0.5. You are thinking of 4/10. Agree? 4/10 or 40 hundredths. You can omit 0, 40 hundredths or 4/10 are just the same. Okay? mabutang common zero or not, they are the same. So try to multiply this one. These two numbers, I mean. These two. The answer is
160.
160. We have the 2 zeros, diba? And 4 times 4 is 16, but we still have a decimal. So one decimal place. So this is now one decimal place to put the decimal point. So 160. We know already that we have that 40% of 400. It is by multiplying 400 and the decimal of 40%, which is 4/10, and we get 160. So this is now already the 40% of 400. And we need to increase the 400 by its 40%. So we need to add from 400 its 40%. Can you see now the answer?
560.
Yes. I cannot see who.
560, ma'am.
Yes, Miss Anami. Thank you. So this is not just one operation. We dealt on two operations. We first multiply and then try to add the result of the first by the given. Okay? And in the speaking of this, 40% of 400. When you say 40% of 400, you could recall also when you say 400, 40% of 400 before you proceed, a recall of 40% of 400. Your PBR, the formula PBR, you could make use of this diagram P, B, R. That when you are looking for B, base, you are to divide P and R. If you're looking for rate, represented by R, you are to divide P, which is percentage, divided by base, as B represents base. And when you are to look for percentage, you are to multiply the base and the rate, represented by B and R respectively. So you are to multiply base and the rate. How could you label that given in the problem is percentage, that given is rate, and the other is base? So let's try to complete this problem. What is 40%? What is 40% of 400? With this simple question. Sige. You have the clue that this is percentage if it is beside the word is. That is rate because we have the clue that that number has percent sign. And that number is could be labeled as base. It's really the base because it has the word of. Look at the sample problem. What is 40% of 400? We will try to answer this this question. What is 40% of 400? We could label first that of 400 is really the base because of the word of. And 40%, it has sign, even it is beside is, but it will be labeled percent because of the presence of percent sign. So this is rate. So in this question, we are given with base and rate. So we need to multiply the base and the rate to get the percentage. And the word is what is. Oh, the remaining in the PBR. So we need to multiply. So you are guided that what are you going to do with 440%? You are just to multiply 400 and the 40%, or in the decimal, its decimal is 4/10 or 40 hundredths, and you get 160. Before you, so you already know that you are just to multiply 40%, that is already 160. You are just to add 160 from 400 balik sa given problem. Okay? So if you are again asked what is given percent of a number, so you can go back to this strategy, that PBR triangle. It is known as PBR triangle. Or the other we have different strategies. You could have this one. The other strategy is they just convert the of as times. This is decimal, so 400 will be multiplied to 40%. What is? Let's try to translate this. What is? What is? That is x. X is the very favorite unknown number. Representation for a known number. What is? Is equal sign. Equals, or that is could be converted into equal sign. 40% is decimal of 4 tenths or 40 hundredths, and of is times to 400. So you could have that equation. Pili lang. You could choose what strategy will you employ to get the answer to this question. What is 40% of 400? You are to multiply 404 tenths, or the use of PBR after labeling the given as D and R. You are just to look for percentage. Okay, I presented to you the different strategies on dealing with percent problem. Let's proceed on the next. So we could move to another set. How many questions did I presented to you? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we still have. Okay, which number is closest to 1? Somebody to unmute?
1.01, ma'am.
As answered by. Sorry, I could please be recognized. Sige. Thank you, Miss Anami. Thank you. 0.1. Yes, just determine the least difference of each of the option from 1. Diba? What's the difference of 12 hundredths from 1? This is 88 hundredths. This one, 20 hundredths. Ang difference na. Just subtract 1 and 0.80. 1 versus 0.91 or 91 hundredths. We have the difference of 0.09 or 9 hundredths. This time, if we are to get the difference of 1 and 1 hundredths, is just 1 hundredths or 0.01. And compared with the difference of 1.41 to 1, it's 0.41 or 41 hundredths. So we have this the least difference from 1 is 1. So this number is really the closest to the given number quantity. So that is that given quantity is 1. So we have to choose 1.01. Just get the difference of each option and choose the least or the closest. For the fifth, okay, I presented to you already the PBR triangle. For this question, again, what does this 30% represent? P, B, or R? Percentage, base, or rate? Somebody can unmute. Where you go? MJ, 30% is?
Wait lang, ma'am.
Miss Anami? Right. Because of percent sign. Of 200. Because of the clue of. This is?
The base.
Base. Oh, what are you going to do with base and the rate? So you could get the unknown first. Yes, just multiply 1,200 and the 30% in decimal. Oh, you could have the because it's just
360?
because you are just to get the correct answer, you could present your solution in not so detailed. You can have the direct operations in your sketch paper and do the operation while multiplying. So that is 0, 0, 6, and 3. And count the decimal place. How many? Only 1. So we had 360. Okay. Did you PM me your assessment result? Let's have another set. We still have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Already 5. So let's have another set of 5 questions. Okay. Let us go to www.menti.com again for the next set. Sorry. Okay, let me share the Mentimeter. Okay, go to www.menti.com and use the code 7409145 and assess your numerical reasoning skills on this given 5 test items. Again, PM me again with your result. You can make a screenshot or PM me with the score out of 5. How many? What is your score? I mean,
Excuse me, ma'am, ang passcode gali mamura ako na ano.
passcode is 7409.
Wait lang, ma'am.
As in the screen in our Zoom. So we have already the participants. 2 participants in our Mentimeter. We already have 5 participants. Let's start. Answer fast as you can. Okay, there are only 2 who got correctly on this item. Let's see the leaderboard. Hola Hope, Jem, TC, Joyel, Marky, and Elsa. Okay, the code name Hola Hope is the fastest. Okay, let's proceed on the next item. Okay, only half of the participants got correctly on this item. Later, we will do the discussion. How come that was the answer, the correct answer? Oh, the fastest was Elsa. But our leaderboard says still Holop is the first. Yes, in the rank. Second is Elsa, which was the fastest. Who was the fastest in the second item? Next item. Could Elsa overtake Hula Hoop? Let's see on this item. Okay, time is up. Why is it that others got incorrectly? Fastest was Gem. But our rank, okay, we have still first Hula Hoop, second Gem, and third Elsa. Next item. The fourth item. Answer fast to get more points. Oh, what's the result? Only one got correctly on this. Sige. The leaderboard says TC was the one who got it correctly. And our leaderboard still, Hula Hoop is the first. Still in the second place, Gem, third Elsa for TC. Okay, last question for this set. And we will have the discussion for how could we come up with that correct answer. Okay. So only one got correctly on this item. Let's see our leaderboard. Oh, it was Hula Hoop who got it correctly. So overall, it's Hula Hoop who won on this millimeter quiz. Congratulations. You can have the screenshot of this and try to PM me so I could appreciate your effort, or you could reward yourself na lang, anay, because sige, di kita face to face. Thank you for your participation, reviewees. Let's discuss how can we come up with the correct answer for those sample test items. Okay. Let me first share my screen again. Okay, after the discussion of this answer for the sample 5 test items, we will have the parallel for you to assess yourself again if you could already get the correct answer. Sorry. Let's see. Yes, this one. Okay. Share session 2. We are in the 6th item. Okay. This was the item that if 6/8 is equivalent to what number over 32? What is the value of the unknown numerator? Okay, just like what I presented to you, 6/8 could also be retained in the form 6/8 as in the fraction. And then what is the unknown number here in the numerator with the denominator of 32? Still, the technique that I presented to you, they are equal. They are equal. So the technique that what are you going to do with the 8, with this 8 to get 32? That will be the same operation to be applied to the numerator 6 to get the unknown number. Anybody? Someone to unmute. What are we going to do with 8 to get 32? MJ?
Divide, ma'am.
Divide? By what? Are you sure you are to divide? Or is it multiply? Michelle?
Multiply.
Yes, MJ, multiply. Michelle, you try to unmute. You recognize multiply by what, Michelle?
4, ma'am.
Multiply by 4? Okay, thank you. Multiply it by 4 to make it 32. So multiply also 6 by 4 to get the unknown number. The unknown number is 24. So they are proportion. The other strategy, I am presenting to you the technique, but the others could have this strategy that they are to multiply 32 and 6 and divide it by 8. The cross multiplication, they cross multiply 32 and 6, then divide it by 8. But that's a long method. You could have a technique this way, that you are to just find for a number or operation that will be applied to a given numerator, denominator, whatever. Yes, then try to connect it with the other given in the other expression. And the same operation will be applied to from the denominator, just like this one that we multiplied by 4. We make use of multiplying 4 to the given numerator to get the unknown number. Okay, let's proceed on the next item. So we had a while ago smallest, this time largest among these numbers. What's the largest? The answer a while ago in the Mentimeter was
9/27, ma'am.
9/27. It is 1/3. If it is in the lowest term, 1/3. This one is 1/4, 3/12. And 1/4 has an equivalent of 0.25 in decimal. And if it is compared to 1/3 and 1/4, they have the same numerator na 1, but the denominator that's smaller, the number in the denominator that has a larger value. Or if that is a fraction, if you are to compare the fractions, I will try to present to you this time comparing 1/3 and 1/4 in the what they call butterfly strategy. Butterfly, because you are to multiply 1 and 3. Try to multiply 1 and 3. This is 3. Try to multiply 4 and 1 here. The product is 4. That 4 will represent 1/3 to be compared to the result of 3 times 1, that result was 3 to represent 1/4 for the comparison, which is from the two is bigger, 4 or 3. 4 is larger, so it will be also concluded that 1/3 is bigger than 1/4. Can you get it? Again, using the cross multiplying, yes, cross multiplication of 4 going to 1, 4. The product is 4. This one, the denominator to the numerator, multiplying it 3. Compare the result. If this is bigger, then this fraction is bigger too from the other. This is a technique. So it's bigger. So 1/3 is also bigger than 1/4. You can have that technique. Well, how about 30%? 30%. 30%. This one is also 30%. It's already this 1/4 is 25. The other is 25%. What is larger? 30%, di ba? 25%, 25 hundredths or 25% is smaller than 30%. So 30% is larger. Let's try to compare 30% and this 1/3. They have different forms, so we need to make it into percent or percentage. What is the equivalent of 1/3 in percentage? Divide. Try to divide 1 by 3. What's the answer? 1 divided by 3 in decimal. 1/3. Let's convert 1/3 into decimal. What is the equivalent? 1 divided by 3. It is a repeating number, which is
333.
yes, Miss Michelle. 3333. 0.333, which 3 is being repeated. You could have the bar, 3 with bar, to signify the 3 is being repeated, or this 3 is being repeatedly. 3 is being repeated, and or the 3 is this number 0.33 is non-terminating but repeating number, and the 3 is being repeated. So 33.333 versus 30%, which is larger. We already eliminated 25%. We still have 0.333 versus 30%. In percentage, this is ang percentage. I mean yes. Make it in percent form. This is 33.30%. So which is now the larger? Larger is first option than the other options. Okay? We tried to make those choices in the same form so we could identify what is the largest. In the first option, we have 33.3%. The second, 30%. In the third, 25%. The fourth option is the same as in the second option. They are all smaller than the first option. So largest among the option is the first option. Okay. Next item. Just follow the first operation, one operation at a time. Divide 64 by 8. That is 8. Then multiply it by 5. Okay. So all got the correct? Kung may nakamiss to kayo na. Sige. Next. How about this one? Among those who participate in the Meter quiz, only one got correctly on this item. 12.5% as expressed in fraction. Try to convert this into decimal first. What's the decimal of 12.5%? Somebody to unmute? What's the decimal of 12.5%? Decimal? Percent.
2.4, ma'am.
Decimal? Just move the decimal point. If we want to eliminate the percent sign first, we are to divide it by 100 to omit the percent sign. 2 zeros in 100 is the same as moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. Again, what's the decimal form?
125.
Point 0.125, Miss Jem. Okay, so this is now the decimal. How do you read it correctly? Mark, could you read it correctly? 125? Mark?
180.
Read the decimal correctly. So we could transform it easily in fraction. Michelle, Mark?
0.125.
Read it correctly. Well, using the decimal places or the place value. With the place value. The place value of this is tens. The place value of this is hundreds. This is thousands. Read it correctly. Michelle?
125,000.
Yes, that's the fraction of the decimal 0.125. You said it 0.125, but this is read correctly as 125 thousandths. This fraction is read as 125 thousandths. This is now the fraction. However, we could not find it in the option, so we still need to get it into or make it into lowest term. What is the GCF? What number could the greatest common factor that will be divided in both in the numerator and denominator? You could have the common factor, like you are to divide it by 25 by 5, but the greatest one is 125. Divide it by 125. The denominator should also be divided by 125. That's the greatest common factor. We could divide 1000 by 125. What's the result? 125, 125, 125. That is 125 divided by 125, 1. But the denominator is, Miss Anami, is 8. Do you agree with Miss Anne? So 1 8. So can you now get that? What's the fraction of 12.5%?
1/8.
Okay, 1/8. Try to convert in decimal, then have it in fraction. Then if you have the fraction, could it still be converted or to be transformed into lowest term? So make it in lowest term. So you could get or find the answer among the choices. Wow, we have the last item from our Mentimeter, that you are to multiply 25 thousandths by 10,000. What's the answer? How many zeros are there in 10,000? Somebody? How many zeros are there in 10,000?
4.
4. So you are to move the decimal. The technique is just to move the decimal point 4 places to the right. Yes. The number of zeros signifies the movement of the decimal point to the left. To the right, I mean. So instead of multiplying it by 10,000 times 0.025, then you get the solution of 000 until you come up with that answer and counting the number of places. So the technique is just determine how many zeros are there in 10,000. There are 4 zeros. So let's move this by 4 places to the right. And the remaining will have a 0. You just place a 0. And that is 250. The decimal point is here now. 250, letter D. Okay? Let's have the puzzle questions. Are you excited? It's now your turn to answer the. Sorry. We still have the remaining time. Sige lang. A little bit of overtime. 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we could answer all of these parallel questions I presented as discussed a while ago. Okay? Unmute to answer this one. I will confirm your answer. Whether correct or not. Go. Somebody? Just read it and okay, I will be the one to read it for you, or you can immediately unmute and find for the answer. Parallel question for the set of items we discussed.
8%.
Technique. Mark?
8%.
Yes, Mark. Did you apply the technique that multiplying it by 4 to get it 100 in the denominator? You are multiplied by 4 the numerator to get the unknown. The same, Mark? The same technique, Mark?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, congrats. You applied it. You learned from the technique I presented. Thank you. So 8%. Okay, next. Very good, Mark. Next. Smallest. Somebody? I will confirm. Shall we have a minute only? If you could have it in 30 seconds only, that's best or better, I mean. In the exam, try to answer 2 items in a minute. Per minute, I mean. 2 questions per minute. So you could finish all the items and you could recheck your answer before submitting that to your proctor. What's now the answer? Mark, you try to unmute. Mark, what's your answer?
10/50, ma'am. Smallest value.
10/50? This is just 20%. This is just 20%. Yes, it is smaller than 25. But do we still have smaller than 20%? We know this is 25%. Ang 1/4, this is 1/4 or 25%. So it is eliminated already. 25% is eliminated because we already have 20. So 20 man siya. How about this 3/20? What's the decimal of this or percent?
Ang smallest.
Yes. Try to make this in percent. Try to multiply 20 by what number to make it 100? Times 5, di ba? Try to consider 20 as the denominator. It is 15%. Yes, Miss Jem. 15%, yeah. You try to multiply 20 by 5 to make it 100. Try to multiply also 3 by 5 to make it 15%. 15/100. 15/100 is the same as 15%. The technique that I presented to you is easier. Is easier way to get the immediately the equivalent of a fraction into percentage. Okay, so the smallest value is in the third option. Next, can you still? 2 down, third item. Parallel questions I present as we had from the discussion.
640, ma'am. 640.
Correct, Miss Jem. 60% of 400 is just 240. 240 will be added from 400. 640. Okay. Next. Which number is closest to 2? Careful.
2.03.
Do you agree, Miss?
1.98.
Okay, Miss Michelle, you're correct. 1.98. May difference ng 0.03. While 1.98 has a difference of 0.02 from 2. Okay, as I said, careful. Next item. What's 40% of 1,200? Okay, Miss Jem, correct. Okay. Daw meters mga fastest si Miss Jem. Okay, next. Our question. We already have the discussion of this. Sorry. But
28.
Again, please be recognized. What's your answer?
28, ma'am.
Michelle? Miss Michelle? 28. 28? Let's check. What's the lowest term of 8/10? Sorry you need to make this into lowest term first. Ang 8/10, it is 4/5. Agree that this is the lowest term of 8/10 before you complete the proportion. Sorry. Before you complete the proportion, you need to if there is a fraction that needs to be transferred into lowest term, make that into lowest term first. 8/10 in lowest term is 4/5. So now we have the setup of proportion. To make it proportion, what's the missing number? So you multiply 5 by 7 to make it 35. Try to multiply also 4 by 7. Correct, Michelle. This is 28. Did you apply this one, Michelle?
No, ma'am.
Sige, you have the other way. But can you answer? Can you get it, Michelle? This one, this presentation. Okay, thank you. Can you share your way? How did you come up with the 27?
Ano, ma'am, gin-multiply ko ang 8 kag 10 by 3 tas ang last, ma'am, gin-divide ko ang
Answer.
Divide ko sa 2 kay para mag-half time ako.
Okay, you have the other way. Go! At as long as you can come up with the correct answer. Sige. Let's proceed. Thank you for sharing, Miss Michelle. Next. Mark, what's your answer?
7/21.
Yes, this is 1/3. 1/3 is 0.333 or 33.3%. That is the largest among 1/4, which is 0.25, 30%, and 30%. So 33.30. 33.33 or repeating number 33.3%. 3. is being repeated. Thank you, Mark, for the alert answer. Okay, next. Next parallel question for you. What number do you get if you divide 6? Okay.
35, ma'am.
Mark again. 63 by 9 is 7 times 5. Okay, yes. Correct, Mark. Next, last one. Is it the last? Not yet. We still have the last two. Sige. For this item, careful. Learn from the mistake you had last Mentimeter. Or learn from the discussion we had. What's the fraction of that?
Eight, ma'am.
Mark, correct. 3/8. The decimal of this is 0.37, or the decimal is read correctly as 375 thousandths. So in fraction, this is 375 thousandths, and make it in lowest term. Divide both numerator and denominator by 125. You will get 3/8. Divide by 125. I just make it a parallel to what we had discussed. So learn from that. Last. Unmute. Somebody to unmute. And what's the correct answer?
2.5, ma'am. 2.5.
Miss Jem. 2,500. Let's check. How many zeros are there in 100,000? 100,000? 5 zeros, diba? That signifies the movement of decimal point 5. We need to move the decimal point 5 places to, sorry.
Yes, it's 5.
I will show to everybody the movement for you to confirm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place 0 for this vacant. So if this is the decimal point, so the number, the quantity is 2,500. So Miss Jem, you're correct. Okay.